everyone! Good evening, good morning, depending on where you're joining from. It might be a different time of day. It is end of day for us here in Copenhagen, so welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today for our little live event. It is going to be a little bit of a different one. Many of you will have already seen today's code is Happy10, which gives you 10% off our selection. And you'll be looking at the selection maybe already and thinking, there is a suspicious absence of yarn. And that is because we figured this week, after kind of going big and then going home last week, we decided to maybe this week lean a little bit more into giving you some cool inspiration and making this another themed episode. So I'm actually going to be talking to you a lot about Amigurumi today. It is Amigurumi Month, so we're kind of trying to lean into that a little bit, and we have some really exciting news on that front as well that I want to talk to you about today. So that's what we've got in store for you. We do have a landing page with a lot of beautiful inspiration and patterns, and like I said, you type Happy10 into the chat, you will get a link to that landing page if you're watching us on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're watching us on YouTube, Matt has already linked the page in the top of the chat, so you can just click that link if you want to check out the page. You'll find some really cool accessories there and a lot of patterns. So I'm gonna be talking to you about that. It's a really cool episode, a little bit different, and as I said in my little intro, I'm gonna have a cute little sneak peek surprise for you at some point. We also have 4 giveaways in total today. So we're going to be giving away 4 gift cards worth $25 or equivalent in your currency throughout this stream. We'll be picking one winner from everyone who clicked going on our Facebook event. Thank you so much to all of you who did. We'll also be picking one person from everyone who gives this video a like. So give us a little like if you want to win. And also just if you like us. Yeah. I mean, just for that reason alone, you could also give us a like. We really appreciate it.
I mean, the hearts also count, of course. The hug also counts, but not the raging one.
Yeah. So Matt, when he goes in, he essentially does a blind point and find the winner between all the positive reactions you can give to this video. So the heart, the hug, the thumbs up. He does not look at people giving us angry emojis because you should know better. And we're going to have 2 quizzes for you as well. I know Jaya and I have been kind of hogging the Thursday space with our super fun little knit-along. That is slowly going to come to an end. I'm not sure if we'll finish this week based on the state of my project currently, but here's hoping. But we'll do our best to get as far as we can. So that's on Thursday, by the way. But that means that you've been without quiz time for a while, so I decided to do 2 slightly bigger quizzes today as well for you. So 4 giveaways, 10% off our selection with the code Happy10, and an entire episode. I'm well caffeinated, can you tell? I had a lot of caffeine today. And an entire episode themed around amigurumis. And with that, someone is saying, like, what if we're angry we can't buy the yarns? What if we're angry we can't buy all the yarns? Well, that's not our fault. At least I don't think it is. I hope it's not our fault.
You could still buy all the yarns.
You could still give us some love if you want. No pressure. If you would like to let us know that you don't love us, you can of course give an unhappy emoji. So that's that. We do currently, I saw someone asking if the code is working for Ireland. So we ran into a little snag with that. I will try to get it working. It is not currently working. I'm very sorry about that. I tried to get into working it out for this week. We did manage to work it out for bingo. We did not yet manage to work it out for this. It's a new system, it's a new back end, so there's still a learning curve, but we are on it, and we will get it working for you ASAP. Someone asked if amigurumis are hard to do. That is an excellent question. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it later on. And the great thing about amigurumis is what you want goes. You can choose a really simple shape as your first project. You can choose a really simple pattern. You can really like, depending on what project you choose, really make it your own. There is a lot of sort of unlimited creativity associated with it, but I'll get into it a little bit more. Josephine is saying, if people are angry, they can express it respectfully in words, not in angry emojis. I think as long as it is respectful, I appreciate any kind of any kind of expression of it. But yeah, for the giveaway purpose, like this video. And Bryce saying, I just got the alert that my last order was delivered. Amazing! Very happy for you. I hope you enjoy. And Tina has got a day off. Amazing. Enjoy your day. I hope the weather is nice where you are. We've had 2 quite nice days. I hope the rest of the week stays the same. We've had really mild temperatures. Like I'm in a t-shirt. I was in a t-shirt, well, dress, whatever, most of the day. So I'm quite excited about it. Alrighty. So with that, I actually, again, changing pace a little bit. I actually want to start with a quiz today because, like I said, the topic of today's episode is amigurumi. And I thought, what a fun way to enter into amigurumi territory, doing it as a little quiz. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it can be a fun learning experience. And also, it's a true or false quiz. So there's only 2 options. So you have a 50-50 chance, even if you just guess. If you are watching us on Instagram, sadly, we cannot... well, we can read the chat, but the system that we use for the quizzes can't read the chat there. So unfortunately, you can't participate on Insta. If you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, you can participate.
FB1 in the chat on Instagram, because that actually sends you directly.
If you are on Insta and you do have a Facebook account and you want to be watching us there, you can type FB1 in the chat on Instagram for a direct link that'll be sent to your inbox there, and then you can click it and hop on over to the stream. You can also, if you have a YouTube account, hop on over to our YouTube channel and join us there. Or you lean back, you learn 5 fun facts about amigurumi, and just, you know, watch this like you would Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Except we're not giving away $1 million, we're giving away $25. Imagine if we gave away $1 million.
I'll play.
It'd be brilliant. I don't think our boss would appreciate it, honestly.
Imagine.
So, with that, let's get started. There's going to be a little intro during that time. I will explain to you what is happening. So.
Send it?
Yeah.
You ready?
Let's go.
Boom.
We've got a 30-second break, so I'm going to quickly explain in case this is your first time joining us for a quiz, because, like I said, we haven't done those in a while. Well, I mean, we did a few little ones, but just in case. If you want to join the quiz on Facebook and on YouTube, all you have to do is type whichever answer you think is correct into the chat. This quiz is going to be a true or false, and so there's only 2 options, and each answer also has a number associated, so you can just put the number in. It is important that you're live because it reads the chat as the quiz is ongoing. So, like I said, we're talking about amigurumi, and my first question is true or false. Amigurumi originated in Japan. Is that true or is that false? If you think it's true, you can type 1 true. If you think it's false, you can type 2 false. True or false? Amigurumi originated in Japan. That is our first little question for you. Well, you can do a little you can do a little guess as well. It's a 50-50 chance after all. So if you are unfamiliar, if this is the first time you've ever heard about amigurumi, you can still just go with your gut feeling. Amigurumi originated in Japan. True or false? I can see loads of you guessing on the chat. Very good, very good.
Let's take a look at YouTube chat as well.
We can take a quick look over there. Can we?
One second. I think...
I love that. I'm like, yeah, we can take a look over there, and then there's nothing there.
There it is.
Amazing. I can see loads of you guessing there as well. Ooh. Wonderful, wonderful. We've got our second question coming up, which is true or false. Wait, did we do the same question again, Matt?
Nope, it's just finding out the answer.
Oh, it's looking for the... I thought we were doing all of them and then we were going to do the answers. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah. And of course, most of you knew the answer. It is true. Amigurumi is indeed a crafting practice that originated in Japan. I think most of you Most of you knew that. I could see Marianne saying like, oh no, I hit the wrong one on the first one. I knew it was true. I typed false, or I put the number 2 for false. That's okay. Unfortunately, the system does take your first answer. So if it's your first answer that you give, then it's going to count that. But don't worry, we have 4 more questions. So the next one is true or false. Amigurumi must always be animals. 1 true, 2 false. Amigurumi are always animals. Is that true or is that false? For those of you who have no idea what amigurumi is, do stay tuned. We will, of course, talk about the topic a lot more. So there is a little more coming to it. Amigurumi must always be animals. True or false? Is that true or is that false? Let's see who knows the answer. I can see loads of people in the chat answering. I've forgotten how, like, sometimes this is an awkwardly long break, especially because I don't want to talk too much, because, 1, I'm very well caffeinated, so I think there's a good chance that I'm just going to give away the answer in a second. There's a way I'm just going to say, like, oh yeah, so, must amigurumi always be animals? Is that a rule? Is that a law? Helen is saying, I thought it was a trick question. No, I'm trying to teach you something fun about amigurumi. So here's a beautiful example of what an amigurumi is. You can see this is Bob the giraffe. He's adorable. And we do have some other ideas on what an amigurumi could be. And most of you got it right. It does not have to be an animal. Anything that is a cute little, basically anything that is a cute little craft, a cute little figurine, so to speak, counts as an amigurumi. So we could say this, for instance, could also be considered an amigurumi. So no, it does not have to be an animal. A lot of them are. A lot of them are also nature inspired. If you look up amigurumi patterns, you'll find a lot of animal patterns, but they don't have to be. Next question, true or false? Amigurumi are most commonly made using knitting techniques. Is that true or is that false? Amigurumi are most commonly made using knitting techniques. Is that true or is that false? Lenise is saying I should just count down aloud to fill the time as people are answering. That's a really fun idea, but if I start at 35, that's going to be quite a while of just me counting.
A long countdown, yeah. But it could also be something to learn for those who don't know how to count.
It could also be funny.
If any kids are watching.
So, true or false? Amigurumi are most commonly made using knitting techniques. Is that true or is that false?
You could be Count Dracula.
Oh, you mean the Count?
The Count. Well, I don't know what he was named. I've never seen it. I just seen.
You've never seen Sesame Street?
No, it's not really a thing in Denmark.
Wow. Do I have news for you, Matt, about a beloved character on the Muppets / Sesame Street? Yes. Because there is a beloved character called the Swedish Chef.
Yes.
Except in Germany, where he's called the Danish Chef, because it's just an entire thing making fun of the Danes. I've shown Matt clips before, he knows.
It's very accurate.
So, true or false? Amigurumi are most commonly made using knitting techniques. And this was another slightly tricky question. Most of you got it, though. It is false. If you look up amigurumi patterns, they will most commonly be crochet. However, there's no rule that says they shouldn't be. And in fact, the translation of amigurumi is actually knitted friend. So technically, or woven friend, I guess technically also works. But so technically speaking, knitting is in there. It's just, if you look up, I'd say probably 85–90% of all patterns you find for amigurumi are crochet. This is the next one. True or false? Amigurumi characters are usually made with tight stitches so as to keep the stuffing inside. Is that 1, fallacious, or is that 2, accurate? I love that you kind of changed up the wording a little bit. Were you trying to trick me or them?
No, I think it's just a little fun. It's a little funny.
Is that correct or is that incorrect? Is it fallacious or accurate? Is it 1, false, or 2, true? Amigurumi characters are usually made with tight stitches so as to keep the stuffing inside. Janice is saying that Sesame Street count. Yes, that is who Matt was referring to when he said Count Dracula. And Debbie is saying Sesame Street rules. It does. I was quite scared of Big Bird, though, as a child. For some reason, there's something also, the German voice is very, very, very gentle. And I think something about that just did not sit right with me. Ebony is saying Matt is so deprived. Hashtag blame Matt. True or false, amigurumi characters are usually made with tight stitches so as to keep the stuffing inside. This is a fun one because if you've watched a lot of live shopping, you will know that anytime I show you amigurumi patterns or yarns that are often used with amigurumi, I share some tips and tricks, and one of them is always to make sure that your stitches are nice and tight, because as you stuff it, you do not want the stuffing to peek out through the gap, so you do want quite tight stitches. So this is another one that is basically a how often do you watch live shopping and do you listen to what Louisa babbles and as she's standing there. So I can see that most of you got that one correct as well. Very good. Michelle saying I loved Big Bird, and Rebecca saying Big Bird was my favorite. I don't know what it was. Like, interesting, right? This last one should be an easy one. I expect all of you to get this one right. Is it true or false? Hobbii offers many amazing free amigurumi patterns. Is that true or false? And I better not see any wrong answers here. Does Hobbii offer many amazing free amigurumi patterns on our website?
I'm seeing some twos.
Maybe those are people answering the previous question.
Maybe.
That's kind of the problem. If you're not live, it might, like if there's a little bit of a delay as you're watching, it might count your answer for the wrong question. Ooh, Rebecca saying I actually had a Big Bird stuffed animal I was obsessed with as a little girl. I guess if Big Bird was stuffed animal size, I would have been fine. It was just something about that big bird. I don't know. Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster is the best. Well, I think Oscar the Grouch is the best because he lives in a trash can and he's grouchy, and I like that. That appeals to me. Does Hobbii offer many amazing free amigurumi patterns? Is that true or is that false? Like I said, I better not see any wrong answers there because the answer should very obviously be yes, we do. I wouldn't do a question about amigurumi patterns if I wasn't going to show you a lot of beautiful free amigurumi patterns today. I could see 7 of you were maybe just either trying to mess with me or answering the previous question or accidentally hit the wrong button because the true and false kind of changes around the location of it, so it's not always in the same spot. That's actually something the system does automatically, but I think it's a really cool way to kind of, break up patterns a little bit. So now we're going to find our first winner who's going to receive a gift card worth $25 or equivalent in your currency. And we will have 3 more, what am I showing? 3 more giveaways later today. So we've got some more coming for you. And I can see, I believe our first winner is joining us from YouTube, I would guess, based on the name. So we've got Artemis 722. Yes, it's Artemis 722. Moon heart. Yellow moon, purple heart. Artemis 722 moon heart. Congratulations, you are our first winner. Well done on getting all of them correct. I can see almost everyone on that board got all of them correct, but Artemis came out on top. You are our first winner. Congratulations. And Artemis is in the chat on YouTube, very excited. Congrats. And don't be sad, everyone. Maybe you learned something cool. Maybe you just got to flex your knowledge. And do remember, we've got 3 more giveaways and we've got 10% off for you off our little selection. Someone was mentioned one of my favorite patterns of all time, the wizard owl. We don't actually have the wizard owl on the show today because I kind of wanted to focus a little bit on cotton, and that's a hint about what I'm going to show you later.
I saw someone writing, I wonder if YouTube is ahead of Facebook, but the thing is actually our program, it takes account for delays in the platforms. So
that's the good thing, that for some reason it does take into account. And we have kind of tallied a lot the winners in recent episodes and to make sure, and we've discovered that we haven't seen a higher number of YouTube winners versus Facebook winners, so we're pretty sure it's even. Based on what we know, based on what they tell us about the software. So congrats to our first winner, and like I said, don't be sad, we've got 3 more giveaways coming up. For one of them, all you have to do is like the video with a positive reaction.
No angry
Please be kind.
I mean, you could also do the sad one, but why? How can you be sad with all the amigurumis?
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, although I will say that Bob looks a little bit sad, if we're being honest here.
Put some sad emojis for Bob.
I will talk about Bob a little bit later. I'm now going to tell you a little bit more about amigurumis. Most of you will probably know this because it is a fairly, especially in the crochet community, it is a fairly popular practice. And but in case you've never heard about it, like I said already in the quiz, amigurumi is a Japanese crafting tradition. It originated in Japan, and it is essentially just the practice of knitting or crocheting small creatures out of yarn. So small little stuffies, small little dolls, or I mean, they don't have to be small, to be fair. They can be big-ish. They can be big as well, but a lot of them tend to be small, which I think has a lot to do with kind of the Japanese kawaii culture, where a lot of cutesy things are kind of the focus. It's originated, I mean, along with a lot of the other Japanese kind of toy culture after World War II, where Japan was pretty much in ruins, or large parts of the country, large parts of the infrastructure. And so after that, in the process of kind of rebuilding the country, there was a lot of sort of focus on bringing joyful little characters. If you think of Hello Kitty, for instance, if you think of these things to kind of also cheer up, I suppose, the populace. And handmade was obviously a big part, because if you had lost a lot of things during the war, you wouldn't have had necessarily the money to buy a lot of stuff, so you would start by creating your own first, and you would start creating your own characters as well. And that is sort of the background. It got really, really popular in the 2000s, and it is now a global phenomenon. So you'll find amigurumi in every corner of the globe, in every crafting tradition. Even if it's not called that, you'll find a variation on it, of course. It is very often crochet. It does not have to be. It can be knit as well. And you'll very often find that kind of cute edge to it. You'll find very bright and friendly colors. You'll find a very cheerful kind of disposition, I would say. We do have, of course, a lot of beautiful crocheted, and we have a few knitted ones as well, amigurumi patterns, and I want to show you some of them. These are essentially some of my favorites, honestly, that I've just picked over time. This one is Pong the Penguin. Pong the Penguin is this adorable little pattern, and I have a personally relationship to Pong the Penguin, not because I've made him, but just because, one, I think he's super, super cute, and two, when I had just learned how to crochet, I had just finished my first basket. A few weeks after that, I had a customer who was crocheting Pong, and who was stuck on the bag pattern, because the bag starts with just a chain that you then crochet around in the round to create that little bag. And I mean, of course, as you can see, Pong is made in 8/4 cotton, so he's pretty small. And I was trying to explain to the customer how to do that, and then decided, listen, it's the middle of summer, I don't have a whole lot going on. I'm going to just crochet it. I used Bungee Mini, which is a very, very, very bulky yarn, because that's what I'd used for my first project and I had some left over. But I made the base of the bag for Pong. And so every time, and this was the first time that I helped out a customer by actually crocheting what they were making to show them what the steps were. And I was so proud of myself that anytime I see little Pong, I'm just so excited, because I always think, I've never made him in entirety, but I've made the base of the bag in a completely wrong yarn for it to show a customer how the steps work. And so I just feel this really big sense of like accomplishment.
Nice, yeah.
It is a beginner friendly pattern. A lot of amigurumi, again, there is no like fix and fast rule, but a lot of amigurumi you'll see will require you to work in the round. So for Pong, you would see, for instance, the head, you would see the shape of the body. Those would be worked in the round to, well, give you that shape. So that is something that you'll need to figure out. You need to figure out a magic ring. And of course, you can see there's a lot of really even increases and then decreases to shape them. It is a beginner-friendly pattern. It is made in 8/4 cotton originally, but you can, of course, make amigurumi in pretty much any other yarn. 8/4 cotton will give you a plushie that is roughly, I would say, 25 centimeters tall, I think. You could, of course, use a thicker yarn, and then what's going to happen is whoop, Pong's just going to end up bigger according to that. It is a pattern by Piff Paff, who are like amazing crochet designer that we have quite a lot of patterns by. So it's one of the sort of long-standing, ongoing collaborations. We've got another super cute amigurumi pattern. This one is by Kia Crafts, Kiara Kremen, aka Kia Crafts, which is another ongoing collaboration that we have for a few different patterns. And here you can see this is Paige the Reading Fox. This is a tiny one, so Paige is only about 4.5 centimeters tall and 9 centimeters long. So for those of you doing inches, because I don't quite know, it's about 3.5 inches long. So about this long is Paige the Reading Fox. So a cute little amigurumi. This one is intermediate level pattern. It is also available for free, and it's part of a little group of patterns that you could make.
A little family.
A little family of patterns. So this was Paige the Reading Fox. I have linked those patterns for you on our landing page. So in case you want to go back and find them, you'll find them there, and you will of course find them on our website. Like I said, amongst the kind of techniques that you're going to need to master is most likely working in the round. A lot of amigurumis are worked in single crochets. You can do the kind of X stitch, so the I guess the twisted ones, in order to get a slightly tighter stitches, which again helps as you stuff your little plushie, making sure that the filling doesn't fall out. There is no real rule on what you need to make in order for it to be considered an amigurumi. You can make anything from animals to food. You can make anything from planets to just blobs, honestly. The one sort of thing they all have in common is they're all characters. So you would be kind of adding cute little details like a mouth or like eyes to what you are making. So you do produce sort of a character that is kind of part of the idea of amigurumi.
Louisa, I have a question.
Yes.
Is this moustache an amigurumi?
This would not be considered amigurumi.
Okay.
Because it's not a character. It's not a friend.
But it gives character.
Well, if you put two little googly eyes on it, then you could, I guess, make the case.
Fair.
Again, also not a super hard and fast rule, but that's kind of where I would draw the line between what is an amigurumi versus what is just anything you crochet.
Yeah.
Does it serve that kind of friend purpose, or is it just a toy or just a decoration? So bear in mind that I think that definition probably shifts depending on who you ask, but that would kind of be where I would say it is. But yeah, think of animals. Think of also fictitious animals. Like think of dragons or wyverns or unicorns. Yeah, those definitely count. Or food with faces. A little cupcake, a little donut, a little cake, a little iced matcha latte with cute little eyes and a cute little mouth.
So would this not be an amigurumi?
Does it have a cute little face?
I guess not. But what if,
If you added them, probably, yeah.
What do you call this then?
Just toy decoration.
And we were talking about the
tomato.
We're
talking about a tomato. I would say for me, in order to be classed as amigurumi, I would expect it to be noticeable, friendly.
But tomato is friendly to my stomach.
Is it?
I like it.
I mean, no, because it has a lot of acidity, so I know it's not. It's like
it's friendly to my mouth. Okay, I like tomato. It's good.
But you can also make more abstract things. So you would like if you want to do a little planet Earth with a cute little face, or like I said, you could just make an inanimate blob and then turn that into a cute little friend. I think that's kind of the thing. I guess. Again, I don't think there is a hard and fast rule. I think to me, the difference between am I making an amigurumi or not is kind of like, does it serve the purpose of being a friend? Since the name means like knitted friend. So I kind of think it would have to be a friend. Matt just threatened to throw the tomato at me. That disqualifies it because that's not friendly behavior. Okay, let's go with some more patterns because I've brought some more. Like I said, it could be cute little food, such as the kawaii donut. which is this little guy. This is another free pattern that we have. It's by Jennifer Santos of Super Cute Design, and it's another beginner-friendly pattern. This little guy has a cute little mouth that is smiling at you, and it has cute little eyes to look deep into your soul. This is the Kawaii Donut pattern, which you can get for free. It is made in cotton 8/4, and it has those cute little sprinkles embroidered on for some added pops of color.
It's the Snuggle Fand of food.
It is the Snuggle Fand of food. We've got a super cute little goldfish pattern next. This is Luigi the Goldfish. It is truly a goldfish. Yellow instead of orange. This is Luigi the Goldfish, a beginner-friendly crochet pattern in bright yellow to bring a lot of cute little aquatic joy into your life. We've also got the Rochelle the Crab and the little shell patterns as well to add to your collection. And finally, like I said, don't be afraid of thinking it has to be a real animal, it has to be a real thing. We've also got the Be Weird monster, which is a cute little monster pattern that you could make to bring some color and some joy into your life. So this is the Be Weird monster, also made in rainbow cotton 8/8 in this case, and it is an experience crochet pattern that we have for free. Heck the rules, be weird is the motto of the Be Weird monster, and I guess it's probably also the monster of Amigurumi. I can still see a lot of people saying they're a little bit unsure whether or not, for instance, the mustache would be considered Amigurumi. Like, some people are agreeing with me that they think there needs to be some level of like making it personable, or like kind of anthropomorphizing. Anthropomorphizing. See, I've had too much caffeine today.
It's also a long word.
Making it human.
Making it humanized. Humanoid.
Humanizing it. Whereas others are saying, no, it technically counts if it's any kind of like plushie that is crocheted or knitted.
Yeah.
So I guess the end of the discussion is, some people say this, some people say that. I kind of, like, whenever I think Amigurumi, I think googly eyes. I think like it has to have eyes for it to be, or a mouth. One or the other. It needs to have some kind of human feature for me to kind of think, yeah. I mean, I guess a fish also has eyes, like, naturally. But there's, like, something about it, kind of, yeah. I guess it's hard to say where to draw the line.
I'm trying to think of animals without mouths or eyes.
It's funny because my next thing that I wrote down is, like, there are no fixed rules. Like just go where your inspiration takes you, just go where your creativity takes you. You will also find that, like I said earlier, oh, it's like these cute little things, and then you'll find someone who makes jumbo amigurumis, so that counts as well, of course. There are no hard and fast rules for what you're allowed to do or supposed to do. You will quite often find that the eyes kind of play a key role there. It's different strokes for different people, whether you embroider them on, whether you use beads, whether you use safety eyes. It just is a really cool way to figure out different styles as well. I got to chat with Projectarian, this was a while ago, when we had the Underwater Tales Cal. And she's a designer, for instance, who's super well known for doing these really large, oversized comic style eyes that are actually crocheted kind of in their own right, and then added to the projects, which give her characters and her amigurumis this really, really cool, really, comic book inspired or comic inspired look, and make them really, really cute. But then I know a lot of people who want something a bit more realistic. I've talked to a customer before who actually, her favorite accessory to use are the safety eyes that already have eyelashes on them. So she really likes working with those because they give that kind of slightly more realistic, like, ooh, here's some eyelashes touch. You can pretty much just, add whatever touch you would like to your amigurumi projects. And I've tried to select different patterns that show different ways of adding the eyes and features.
We've had a couple of people asking about Happy 40, Happy 10.
So this week we don't have Happy 40. This week we've got Happy 10. Which is valid on our little selection, and it is valid on top of sales price and on top of bulk discount. So as you can see, some of the items we have in our selection are already on sale, and you can use the code HAPPY10 on top of that for 10% extra. And if you want to buy some filling for your project, you can do that too. And it has a bulk discount, so if you buy more bags, you get a cheaper price, and then 10% gets deducted off whatever that price is. So this is this week's offer that we've got for you. We are as we have in the past, kind of trying out a few different things, or also just doing a little bit of different stuff, because I love doing a deep dive on a topic, and so this is what we're doing this week. So with that, that was kind of the intro. Now you know what amigurumi is. Now you know that I don't have a fixed definition of it other than it's cute little critters. Someone says, like, does it have character? I feel like amigurumis are crocheted characters. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, to me, there has to be some level of kind of personification for it. So if it's just if you just use it to play with, like your tomato, for instance, I feel like, yeah, to me that doesn't scream friend. That to me just for throwing. Well, yeah. Do you use your friends for throwing? Would you? You wouldn't throw a friend.
Yeah, true. I suppose. Yeah.
I love how derailed this has already gotten again. Clarissa is asking if the discount applies for yarn too. It only applies to our selection, which this week doesn't have any yarn in it, but next week it will, probably. We'll see. And someone said, I haven't seen any yarn yet. That's because this week we don't have any yarn in the selection for you. This week we are focusing kind of more on inspiration, insights, and we have a really cool thing coming up, a really cool sneak peek in just a second. Because now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one specific amigurumi designer that Hobbii has an ongoing collaboration with. Someone who has some amazing patterns available already on our page. And I'm again going to start with a little quiz. And this one might be trickier than the first one. It is still a true or false quiz, so you still got 2 options, 50-50 chance of guessing true or false. And we're going to talk about Pika Pau. I'm not going to say much more because I don't want to give too much away, but Pika Pau is the kind of subtopic of this week's episode. And I'd say roll the quiz, Matt. You've got 30 seconds to get yourself ready. Double check that you're watching us live. And as with the first quiz, all you have to do is type your answer into the chat as a 1 or a 2, or a true or a false, depending on what you think it is. KA is saying, if there's no yarn and the patterns are free, what is the discount for? We will discuss that at a later point in the episode. So don't you worry, we will get to that. You've got 5 seconds to get yourself ready for a chance to snag another gift card worth $25 in this little quiz about Pika Pau. First one is a true or false. Pika Pau is named after the Portuguese word for woodpecker. Is that true or is that false? Is Pika Pau named for the Portuguese word for woodpecker? True or false? All Portuguese natives are now very excited, probably, because they're, yes, I know the answer to this, I know.
You know, unfortunately, I was in Portugal earlier, and I did not go to the forest, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But some of you might. It is a true or false. So, is Pika Pau named after the Portuguese word for woodpecker? Yes or no? True or false?
I wonder if that's true in Brazil as well, because they have different words for different things as well, right? A little bit different dialect.
I would expect something like woodpecker to be the same.
Maybe, yeah.
Because it feels like, I don't know. I don't know why I would think that, but...
I don't know how different Brazilian Portuguese is to Portuguese.
I mean, they're mutually intelligible, so...
Yeah.
I actually heard somewhere, really cool, like scores while the scores are being calculated, that a lot of different countries that... European countries that have sort of colonized the world a lot and therefore brought their language there are now kind of linguistically kind of almost being recolonized a little bit, because so a lot of Portuguese youths are listening to a lot of sort of hip-hop from Brazil and are therefore starting to use Brazilian terms in their vernacular more and more. And it's the same for French people listening to hip-hop that's predominantly from Africa, where again, like that, like their French slang kind of gets re-imported almost. I find that super interesting. We do have the solution here, and most of you got that correctly. Yes, Pika Pau is inspired by the word for woodpecker in Portuguese. This next one is a true or false. You can currently find 7 total free Pika Pau patterns on Hobbii. Is that fictitious?
Fictitious!
Or is it correct?
Correct.
You can currently find 7 free Pika Pau patterns in total on Hobbii.com. Is that true or is that false? Anna Maria saying it is a bit different. Yes, today's episode is a little bit different from our usual. We kind of felt like after having the big one last week that was 2.5 hours, I think we were kind of happy to have a little change of pace and bring you something a little bit different. And then next week's going to be different again, and then the week after, etc. I hope you enjoy. Do we currently have a total of 7 Pika-Pow patterns on our webpage? Is that correct, or is that fictitious? Is that a lie that one of us made up, or is that the stone cold truth?
This is also one that...
Angela's saying, you're not going to trick me this time.
Well, there was a little bit of like paying attention to this one, I suppose.
Yes, well, there is... Well, I mean, I think most people got it in the spirit it was written. So this is a really funny look into Matt's and my collaboration. There are a total of 8 patterns. And that's why Matt put the word total there. Because I wrote the question as just saying, oh, yeah, we've got 7 patterns. And then Matt was like, Louisa, you need to be careful, because if you say you have 7 patterns and you have actually 8, you do still have 7. And so Matt corrected it to be like, in total, like the total amount that we have is 7, and it's not, it's 8.
But that's wrong,
We've got 8 patterns by
and many people got that wrong.
Currently on the website. I do think that that's because, because you tricked them. Matt tricked you. True or false? Pika-Pow is from Argentina. Is that true or is that false? Is Pika-Pow from Argentina?
I would also say
and I think Demi is the first person who knows where this episode is going.
Oh yeah.
Because I just saw Demi's comment.
Exciting.
Yes.
I would also say it would have been false either way, the last one. In both our versions. The correct answer.
Yeah. We were going for the same. We were going for false. Counting is a skill. Fun fact, the reason I put the question originally is because I accidentally, when I was going through I missed one initially, so I had put 7 everywhere in the script. And then I was like, wait, my favorite one is missing. Where did it go? And then I realized, oh, it's 8. True or false? Pika-Pow is from Argentina. Is that true or is that false? True or false? Pika-Pow is from Argentina. So I thought this would be fun to put kind of as the third question, because the first one was about the origins of the name Pika-Pow, which is based on the Portuguese word. And I think I tricked a lot of you, because Pika-Pow, so Jan, the designer of Pika-Pow is Argentine. So it is or she is Argentinian. Is it Argentine or Argentinian?
Argentinian.
Argentinian, and then is Argentine like a person from Argentina?
Like Dane, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Pika-Pow is from Argentina, but the brand name is inspired by the Portuguese word for woodpecker.
Woo.
Fun stuff.
We all know the place today. Okay.
True or false? All Pika-Pow characters are designed to look completely realistic and anatomically accurate. So a big focus in Pika-Pow's work is being as anatomically accurate and realistic as possible. Is that true or is that false? Is that true or is that false? If you've seen a Pika-Pow design, you will of course know the answer to this, because it is a very distinct style. But what is the style? Is it hyper-realistic or is it a bit more fictitious? True or false? All Pika-Pow characters are designed to look very realistic and anatomically correct. Is that true or is that false? I'm very excited to show you some of the patterns in a second. True or false? All Pika-Pow characters are designed to look super realistic and anatomically accurate. Amelia's saying, nah, now that I'm looking at them. They are, in fact, extremely whimsical and very much kind of these very cute characters who are not in any way trying to be super hyper realistic. Quite the opposite. I think they have this very distinct style of just being these very nice rounded shapes. Kind of, to me, they always look a little bit almost vintage. Like, to me, they almost look a little bit, well, I say vintage, kind of like mid-century furniture, kind of this really nice, like very particular design style that is not trying to be hyper realistic.
Not everybody can be as realistic as Bob.
And the next one is true or false. On May 14th, we are launching a super exciting collaboration with Pika-Pow. Is that truthful or is that a lie?
Lies!
Are we launching a incredibly exciting collaboration with Pika-Pow on May 14th, which is a week and 1 day away from today? Are we launching a super exciting collaboration?
Feels like a loaded
yes
question.
Or no? Is that truthful or is that a lie?
Feels like very loaded, Louisa. It is.
I feel like it's a leading question here.
Yeah, there's something to it. But I think it's a lie, honestly. Me personally speaking. No way.
We've got 10 seconds left for all of you who want to put in their guess. Are we launching a super exciting collaboration with Pika-Pow?
Maybe the whole quiz was like a ruse to make them think that we are launching something.
Yes, that would be really funny. If I had made up a fictitious campaign and just tried to get people excited about something that is not happening. Imagine. No, but I can reveal, and most of you will probably have seen this because we have already announced it on social media, and Pika-Pow has also revealed it on her own. Yes, on May 14th, there is a really, really exciting campaign launching in collaboration with Pika-Pow. And I will tell you what it is in just a second. We're going to find the winner first, just so that is done. Becky is saying 8 days, 15 hours, and 32 minutes until launch. Exactly. And Ruth is very excited because she got all questions right after missing the first one. Way to go, Ruth. And we do have a winner, and it is Fortune. Fortune is very fortunate, or maybe it might be Fortuna, I don't know, but Fortune is very, very, very fortuitous to have won a $25 or equivalent in your currency gift card. This message is now to both of our winners, because I think I forgot to say it for the earlier one. If you won, so this is for Fortune as well as Artemis 7022 Moon Heart, please send an email to live@hobbii.com, and then Matthias is going to send you your gift card ASAP. So congrats to both of our winners. Great guessing. And it should be the 14th. I went through all of the materials because on the 13th we're announcing something else. Huh. Interesting.
Hold up.
We're double checking the dates here because I was told the 14th. So
where would I see that fastest?
Go into the message, the follow-up message, because I've linked it there. Okay. Matt is looking it up because I thought it was the 14th. I'm convinced it's the 14th. Oh, may have steered you wrong. It might be the 14th, but I'm pretty sure it's 13th. But I'm pretty sure it's the 14th. Matt's finding out the real answer, but I will in the meantime tell you what it is. So as we've said, Pika-Pow is an incredible amigurumi designer, and we're going to take a close look at her work in just a second, and I'll tell you a little bit more about her as well. But I just quickly want to show you what I'm going to be talking about in this episode, which is our beautiful new yarn that is launching on the 14th until Matt tells me something different. Any of them will do. Literally any of these links leads to the page.
Oh, okay. I thought I was standing there.
No.
Okay.
But I think
14th?
May 14th is when we're launching this.
Oh, it's the...
Oh, that one. May 13th is something else, but I'll get to that in a second. So May 14th, we are launching this amazing new yarn. This is Pika-Pow Cotton 8-7. This is a brand new yarn. So, like I said, Pika-Pow is a Argentinian designer of incredible and beautiful amigurumi. She's called Jan. Jan Schenke, which is, I think, a German, like it's a German name. So I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know how you would pronounce it in Spanish. So I'm going to go with the German pronunciation. I hope that's okay. And she is the creator of the amigurumi universe She's the creator of the amigurumi universe of Pika-Pow, which, as we said, is inspired by the Brazilian word for woodpecker. She started crocheting casually at first as part of her commute while on her way to work or while waiting to pick up her kid. So just a very casual enjoyer of crochet as a hobby. She then slowly kind of birthed the idea of Pika-Pau as a brand and as a kind of amigurumi universe, which led to her first book being published in 2015, initially in Spanish, and then later conquering the English-speaking world as well in 2017. So today Pika-Pau has actually released 3 books on amigurumi with incredible patterns, and has been a collaborator of Hobbii for quite a while with some really lovely patterns. We're going to take a look at them now, because her style is really distinct, I would say. It's very whimsical, it's very, very charming. It's not trying to be overly accurate or precise in its representation, but instead more capturing the spirit and the character of the character itself. So this first pattern we have is the Atahualpa owl. It is an intermediate level crochet project by Pika-Pau, done in 8/6 cotton, and it is a cute little owl. All Pika-Pau patterns are made, or not all of them, but one kind of distinct feature is that the animals themselves or the characters themselves will have some sort of pattern on them. So the accessories you can add to them, in this case the cute little scarf and that adorable little beret, are truly just add-ons. The character in its own right is going to have some color interest already added on, in this case this cute little kind of sweater with that cute little kind of checkered pattern. This is the Atahualpa owl, and you can see some of its friends right there, and we'll talk about those as well. So these are some of the Pika-Pau patterns that we have available on the website for free. You can check those out also on our landing page. So if you type Happy10 in the chat, you'll get a link to that page, and you'll be able to see some more patterns there. This one is called Lenny Cat. It's a cute little cat. Again, not the most realistic cat, but definitely the snuggliest. This is Lenny Cat, which is a cute little cat, again, wearing a little striped jumper, wearing some yellow boots, wearing a cute little hat to keep its ears warm. Well, actually, it's not keeping its ears warm, because there's a hole.
Yeah.
Keeps the rest of the head warm, not the ears though. But this is Lenny Cat, another intermediate level crochet pattern, and the pattern is available for free. As you can see here, a lot of the Pika-Pau patterns use little safety eyes, and then use little features that are crocheted on as well. So here in this case the snout and the cute little rosy cheeks, because Lenny the cat is out bracing the cold wind in his cute little hat and scarf combo. Another adorable addition to the Pika-Pau universe is Anita the octopus, which you can see here. This is Anita Octopus, an adorable little 6-legged octopus.
Yeah.
So again, we're not going the most realistic route. We're going probably the what's crochetable route. This is Anita Octopus, another intermediate crochet pattern, another adorable little face and cute little accessories with a cute little stripy sweater worked on.
Also not very realistic for an octopus to be needing boots. You know, they don't really walk.
But maybe their feet still get cold? Their tentacles still get cold in the water?
That is true. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Also, octopods? I don't know what the correct English plural for octopus is, but they can sometimes like leave their enclosures and like climb out and get up to shenanigans. Octopods?
Octopi?
Octopi? They are so cute. They are so like mischievous and get into trouble and smart. They can like open jars.
I mean, you can see that she's also a little bit up to no good.
Yeah, but like in a harmless cutesy way.
Yeah.
She's like she can be a little sassy and a little like she's like yeah. Anita definitely is. Octopi, says someone. Amazing, thank you. So that is what Pika-Pau's traditional style looks like, and you can also see that there's a very distinct color palette. The patterns we've shown so far were designed with our friend's yarn. However, I think if you are a crochet lover and a crochet designer, and if you like Pika-Pau have this immense creative potential and drive to create and tell your stories and design characters, I do think it's probably like at some point you are going to run into the situation where you're just like, oh, I want this precise color and I can't get it. I wish this exact kind of color story existed, this exact kind of line. And I guess the next logical conclusion is then to get together with a yarn company that you've been collaborating with in the past and create a beautiful, beautiful line of yarns. So this is the Pika Pau Cotton 8/7. And those of you who know our cotton lines will be familiar that we carry cottons in 3 sizes. We carry 8/4, 8/6, and 8/8. So this is an 8/7 cotton, meaning it's a 7-ply cotton. So a little bit thinner than the 8/8 and a little bit thicker than the 8/6. It is also made from a really beautiful brushed material. So this cotton is incredibly soft to the touch. I will show you a little close-up right here.
And just to be clear, this is not on sale today.
To be clear, we can't offer this on sale because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
This will become available next week. We just thought, because there have been a few teasers here and there on social media, but we thought it'd be really nice for you to be the first ones to actually get to see it IRL. Well, see it, you know, a little more in depth, a little more in detail. Is octopuses. Ah!
They said there's 3 different versions.
Yeah, so the thing is in German it's Octopoden, which is why I thought maybe it's octopods, because that kind of feels similar.
We say Blexbruder. Very different.
So this kind of sits immediately between right between a cotton 8/6 and a cotton 8/8. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to pick a different color because I want there to be a bit of contrast. So in orange here, I'm going to very gently pull this out and see if I can show you all the ply. So if you untwist it, it's very well spun, so it takes a little bit of work. But what you will see is essentially right here, you get 7 plies, right? On an 8/8 cotton, you would get 8. On an 8/6 cotton, you would get 6. So I'm going to try and show you those next to each other to give you an idea. So the lighter turquoise one I'm holding now is an 8/6 cotton, and you can see there is a very minor difference. I think with just the naked eye, you might not necessarily even spot it immediately. And then I'm gonna add the darker turquoise, which is the 8/8 cotton. There I think you can maybe see it a little bit more, but ultimately these 3, let's see.
I think it's also a hard color to see maybe. The orange.
Coral?
Yeah.
Okay, which one would you say is gonna be the yellow?
Yeah.
Let's try the mustard.
Because
I want to be able to, I figured I wanted, so I put the Friends cotton in the blue shades, and then I'm going to show you in comparison to the yellow.
That works.
That works best. So as you can see, right, you've got your 8/7, your 8/6, you've got your 8/8. So maybe I should change these 2 around, just so we have them in the appropriate order that you would get. You can see your 8/6 cotton, your 8/7 cotton, your 8/8. So this is a very small difference. However, if you are someone who makes a lot of amigurumi, or if you are someone who crochets a lot, you will know that sometimes the small differences still make all the difference. This yarn is absolutely beautiful in that it is so soft, and it works up super nicely without getting super stiff. The recommended hook or needle size for this is actually a little bit of a kind of talking point, because Pika Pau's favorite hook size is a 2.75 millimeters. So the 2.75 is kind of her sweet spot, which is why this yarn was designed, that if you're making amigurumi with it, the 2.75 is going to be kind of the ideal hook for it. For those of you who don't really do with the quarter sizes, a 3 millimeter is going to work just as well. However, if you're making another project, let's say you want to make a little top, or a little maybe clothing for a baby, or you want to make a cute little bag, etc., then you're looking more towards a 4 millimeter or 5 millimeter hook or needle. So that is one interesting aspect of making amigurumi. As I said in the beginning, you are looking to make fairly tight stitches, fairly closed up so that stuffing that you put in isn't just gonna fall out all over the place. And that is why a lot of times you'll find a yarn that has a needle or hook recommendation, but if you use it specifically to make amigurumi, you will want to downsize your hook or needle significantly to get that tighter structure. It is machine washable. It is a beautiful, beautiful cotton yarn, and it is a light, so yarn group 3. Which one is that in English? Can you look it up? A 3. Because that's the European sizing, so. I don't actually know if it would be considered DK or if it would be considered sport, so that's the... So a 3 would be considered light worsted or DK.
Yeah.
So that is what this is classified as. However, again, it really depends. So the recommended hook or needle size is going to be a 5mm, 4mm in that. It is a very lovely, very lovely kind of unique yarn. Not just because it is an 8/7 yarn, which we haven't had previously. So it's a really, really cool new new yarn line. And it was essentially designed with sort of a amigurumi experts kind of expertise of like what is the perfect yarn for her and her project and her universe. Not just in regards to the size, which is unique and different and a great addition as well to our canon, but also with regards to the colors. So I'm going to show you this little basket of colors I've got for you here. If you remember the patterns I already showed you, you will remember that a lot of them had already this lovely kind of slightly desaturated color with these kind of deeper shades in between and some little pops of pastel and some little pops of color. This isn't the entire color palette, by the way. This is just what I am able to show you. So this is our beautiful new Pika Pow cotton by Pika Pow and Hobbii. A dream match made in heaven. And this side of the palette is what I'm going to talk to you about next, because while the whole yarn kind of is Pika Pow 8/7 cotton, we do have 2 separate color palettes for this yarn, or we will have. One of them are these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous shades. There's going to be 25 of them. And then we have an entire... You need to go up in the script, Matt. Sorry. You are way, way, way ahead. And then we've got this, which is the Pika Pow 8/7 cotton, or cotton 8/7 nude. It's 29 shades of nude colors to cover as much of the spectrum as possible of nude shades, to give you the opportunity to craft any sort of skin color or nude color that you would like to use. So you can now make your dolls even more lifelike. You can make your, you can really try to match exactly, if you're making it for a child and you want to match their skin tone. You have 29 colors to choose from to try and achieve that match. If you want to make a doll of a celebrity, if you want to make a little, if you want to make yourself a cute little collection of Freddie Mercury, a David Bowie, and a Prince, you can now really, really try and match as closely as possible to whoever you're making. You can, of course, also for other projects, if you are someone who really, really likes a good neutral palette, if you're looking to make some more Scandi-inspired items, this is going to be a game changer for you there. So you'll have the 25 shades of beautiful, beautiful colors. These are just some of them. I am absolutely in love with these 2 greens. Of course, no surprise there. I absolutely love these. All Pika Pow yarns are going to come with an easy start tab, so you are going to be able to easy start them from the center. And just look at these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. This dark green, a super beautiful color. I could see this if you're making a little froggy, for instance, but also if you're making clothing. I'm kind of like, I'm already matching, like I love these 2 in combination, this beautiful kind of coral orange and then this beautiful kind of minty green. Absolutely love this combination. This would be something I could maybe also see for like a cool t-shirt or something in like a striped look, or also with these kinds of colors. Love the idea of maybe combining the nudes and the colors as well for a lovely little project. So these are of course compatible. The sizing is the same, so you're gonna have it's both the 8/7 cotton, so you're gonna be able to combine the nude palette with the colored palette, no problem. But it is just such a lovely, lovely new line of yarns. It is launching on May 14th, so we can't do a giveaway with it or anything just yet because we don't have it yet. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to pop up in Bingo and everything in the next few weeks, but just not today. I just wanted to give you the chance to sort of see it firsthand and get a little bit more insights and a little bit more kind of words put to it, because I know we've announced it on social media, but yeah, it's kind of still, some of it is still under wraps, and yeah. So this is the new Hobbii Pika Pow Cotton 8/7. So an 8/7 cotton, a brilliant new addition to the canon of cotton yarns that we carry. A lovely addition in terms of the colors, and truly the yarn to bring the Pika Pow universe to life, but also the yarn to just encourage any other crafter out there. I know I've been very much in love with this color palette. I think I've talked about this before, that I really love kind of jewel tones. I really love these kind of slightly more muted shades. So really cool. And I know for a lot of crafters, finding good nude tones, good skin tones has been a huge headache with many other yarn palettes, including our own. So having 29 shades, I just want to point that out again, it's 29 shades that you will get to pick from. Ellen is asking if Matt can show the colors on a page. He can't because they're not up yet. So this truly is all we can show you, but I can show you a little closer look again on the basket. So you've got, this is just a small selection of the yarns as well. I didn't have all 54 of them available, and so I figured, and also we'd be here probably for 5 hours if I were getting into every single one. But you can see this beautiful sort of mustard shade, this kind of a sunflower. And we've got some of the nudes here, some of the different browns. And I mean, this is just something that you don't really, or I mean, you do get, but like, it's tough to get. On camera, I think these almost look the same, but if you look at them here in the studio, you'll see that this is actually a cooler tone than this one. This is slightly more reddish, this is slightly more green leaning. So you get these minute little differences that you don't necessarily get on a lot of the yarns out there, as long as they're, you know, with the same quality and same thickness and same weight of yarn. Again, with these two, you get these really cute little, like, smaller steps in between. You get some neutral shades, you get some warm toned, you get some cool toned, which I think is just brilliant, because again, as part of my job in customer success, helping out people who are looking, I've had a lot of people asking, I want to make a doll, which of these is the best sort of skin tone? I would like it to be quite rosy, but not pink. And then with a lot of the current ones that we have, I've been saying, well, this is kind of rosy and this one is kind of white, honestly. So I think having the option of saying, well, if you want a more rosy undertone but still want it really light, this could be the one to go. This is color 8, for instance, of the nude palette. If you want it to be sort of a little bit more tanned, you know, you could go for a color 12, which is just a little bit more. If you're actually looking for a more neutral tone, but you still want it really, really light, you could go for color 4. If you're looking for a really lovely sort of in-between shade, also for hair, for instance, you could go for the 24 if it's slightly more in the kind of almost coppery direction. So this is just a really, really lovely tool and a little, yeah, addition to the line, and then at the same time these colors perfectly made for anyone wanting to explore. And I can see Patty is saying that she's very excited about that collection due to having a lot of family members from various backgrounds, from French to Hispanic to Filipino and Irish, so it's very difficult to find yarns that can match up with the people if you're wanting to make them a little version of themselves, if you want to make a cute little doll for a little kid to match them, to look like them. So I agree. I think this is a really, really beautiful kind of game changer project, and I think something to, yeah, to really hopefully take off and take the world by storm. We do have a few more beautiful Pika Pow patterns as well that I wanted to show you. All the ones that we have for now are sort of animal inspired, but as all of them are, again, these very cute, very distinct style little characters This one is actually one of my favorites. This is Luna the Cockatoo. It's another intermediate level pattern. And again, so Luna this time doesn't actually have a ton of accessories going with her. I think the wreath she's sitting on is an accessory, so that's detachable. But as you can see with the classic Pika-Pow style, you get the little dots, so it's almost as if she's wearing a little sweater. You get the kind of stripy look, and again you get a little bit of kind of accessorizing with the safety eye, and you get a little bit of crocheting little details with the little yellow cheeks. So this is Luna Cockatoo. We do have another beautiful pattern, which is Madeline the dog. A cute little pattern, again, wearing a cute little stylish beret, wearing a little scarf. These accessories, of course, you can adjust completely to your liking or add to them however much you would want. I saw someone asking about the gauge for the Pika-Pow, so I'm just going to quickly give you that. So for 10, this is 10 by 10 centimeters or 4 by 4 inches, you are looking at 15 stitches by 18 rows crocheted, and that is on a 5mm hook. So that's the gauge for 5mm hook on a 4 by 4 square. You're going to be looking at 15 stitches, 18 rows. Just to give you the comparison for that, to give you the idea, compared to the cotton, to the 8/8 cotton, you would be looking at almost similar. So you'd also be looking at 15 by 18 actually. So there's a very, very small difference to the 8/8 cotton here. Difference. Jax is asking, will there be a brown black? Because a lot of the browns aren't quite dark enough for my very dark brown hair. I do believe, because based on the names of it, because I think there was one, like, I looked at one that was called, I think, Coffee Ground. I need to check, I have seen, because I only, like this, the darkest one I've seen is this one, but I'm fairly certain that considering we have 29 of them, there must be a darker brown. I don't want to make any promises, but I do think so. Oh, and Rossi was saying, I've made her, my daughter sleeps with it every night. That is so cute. This next one is also a super, super cute one. This is Oliver the frog, which I just think is so adorable. And again, I think you can see, I think Oliver's shape is one example where you can really see what I meant when I said that I think it's kind of a vintage inspired look almost, that it almost has this kind of little vintage inspired look to it with the shape of it, because it reminds me a little bit of like a character from like a drawing or like a little kind of, I don't know,
from maybe a children's book.
Yeah, from like a children's book, but like not a children's book from the early 20th century, more like a children's book from like the 70s or something, you know, when kind of design went a little bit more, but still from today's perspective, kind of a retro vibe. I hope someone else is picking up like what I mean, because it's so hard to describe because I'm terrible at decades. I will explain something to my dad and I'll say like, yeah, it's very like 60s, and my dad, who was obviously alive in the 60s, will look at me and be like, yeah, you're 20 years off with that reference. You're looking at an 80s. Someone
asked about the yardage.
The yardage, yes. You would think this is my first time ever doing live shopping. So on a Pika-Pow 8/7 cotton, you are going to get 90 meters, that's 98 yards, and it's a 50 grams, so 1.75 ounces skein. So the skeins are the same, kind of roughly same weight as our others. On a 8/8 cotton, you'll be getting 82 yards, 75 meters, so you get about 15 meters more of this. Again, they are very, very close, but different. One key difference is also, so the they are produced differently. This cotton, I'm not going to hate on our other cottons because they're all amazing and beautiful, but I think this cotton is softer. This is so lovely and soft. I don't know if you haven't touched it yet, right? No. But this is lovely and soft, isn't it? It's kind of a brushed material. It's kind of this like beautiful sort of brushed, super soft cotton.
It reminds me a little bit more of baby cotton, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. You're not wrong with that. It kind of it leans a little bit that direction, and it's kind of made to be like also not too stiff. Of course, if you want your amigurumi to be stiff, just size down your hook, you'll get it there.
Could a beginner make Oliver?
Yeah. A beginner, if you're a confident beginner, I would say, don't let anyone stop you. All Pika-Pow patterns are considered intermediate, which largely comes down to, if you put Oliver up again,
Yeah.
And maybe the one where he's not wearing his accessories.
Okay.
So what you'll see here is that on his body, for instance, Oliver has quite a lot of color changes, especially for the little Christmas tree motif, which you could easily exchange for, like, if you want to put him on the beach, you could easily exchange that for a different motif, I think, like just give him like something else if you don't want it to be too Christmassy. Oliver, I would say, if you are confident beginner, yes. One thing that Pika does, which again, show the picture again, Matt. One thing that's quite characteristic is if you look at Oliver's legs, you'll see that this pattern is kind of designed so that you don't have to actually sew on the legs, but you kind of keep working. So this is a kind of element in a lot of Pika patterns, is to try and avoid sewing as much as possible and instead give you that really kind of cute continuous shape and kind of give you that, ease of not having to weave in a million ends. Although sewing on is still a skill that you will need when you make amigurumi most of the time. But yeah, so I would say as a beginner, there are some techniques there that you might need a few tries to master, but then also don't let that hold you back. We also have Rita Fox right here, another adorable pattern, again with the little yellow wellies, super cute, and the little pinafore dress. This is Rita Fox, another intermediate level pattern. A lot of the patterns are currently designed with the 8/6 cotton, but of course the 8/7 cotton is kind of also made with a lot of the Pika designs in mind, so to match it perfectly. And again, you can see that color palette, and you can see what inspired this.
She took the owl's hat. Look at that.
Oh.
She stole the hat of the owl.
Rita.
Wow. But that means it also fits for the fox. So you can like switch the accessories.
If you make the entire universe.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of Pika characters are actually kind of part of the same universe. So in her books as well, kind of it's always a little bit of a storyline connecting them. So there is a really beautiful kind of sense of connection in the entire Pika universe as well. So those were the Pika patterns that we had.
Just one last one.
Oh, we forgot Bruno the squirrel.
Yeah, we forgot Bruno.
We've got Bruno the squirrel, final one, with another adorable little striped sweater and a cute little hood with a nice little bobble on top.
I like the tail a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking because when you show it from the front, it doesn't scream squirrel, but once you see it from the side, you're like, well, obviously a squirrel.
Yeah, it's cool.
No question. Someone asked about the yardage one more time. I'm happy to give you that answer, of course. It's 98 yards or 90 meters on a 50 gram or 1.75 ounce skein. So it sits really right between the 8/6 and the 8/8. In terms of the swatch, the one that was made with the 5mm is pretty much comparable to the one you get with an 8/8 on a 4.5mm. So that explains it as well. If you use a thinner hook on this one compared to this one. It's not part of our friends line, for instance, so the entire color palette, especially the nudes, but also the colors, are very much in tune with the Pika universe. So that is how the yarn is designed. So this is the Pika 8/7 cotton that we're launching on May 14th. And we have a really, really exciting giveaway. It's not a live giveaway, so it's not necessarily connected with our live today, but I did want to put it out there. You can type Pika1 in the chat. That's Pica1, Pika1 in the chat. You'll get a message sent to you with a link to our sign up page. And on that page, you'll find some more information about this yarn. You'll find some more inspiration, and you will have a chance to sign up for a newsletter that'll buzz you right when the yarn goes live and give you some lovely updates associated with this launch. And amongst everyone who signs up for that, we will find one lucky winner on the 13th of May, so the day before the launch, and that lucky winner is going to win one skein of every single color. That is 54 skeins of beautiful cotton that one lucky winner is going to get. So 54 skeins of yarn that you can win, and all you gotta do is sign up for our launch announcement, and you can do that on our landing page. To get there, you can just type Pika1 in the chat. I can see Deborah saying, I've already signed up. You're way ahead of us here then. But I hope that you still nonetheless enjoyed seeing a little bit more of a close-up of this cool new yarn that we've got coming. So Pika1 in the chat if you want to sign up for the big launch giveaway. The yarn will go live, will launch on the 14th of May, so that is just 8 days away, and is going to, I was going to say, again, my caffeinated brain, I wanted to say sort of change your life, and then for some reason my brain was about to say ruin your life. It's going to ruin all other cotton yarns for you, maybe. Who knows? Maybe you'll discover that this is the exact cotton that you've always been waiting for. So this is the Pika Pau 87 cotton. And with that, we're coming to our final little... Oh no, wait, we have one... We'll come to our final segment in a second, because some of you asked in the beginning, if there's no yarns today that we can use the code on, what can we use the code on? And as a final little part of this section, I did want to give you some more practical tips and some more practical ideas if you want to get started with amigurumi. If you're already an expert, you won't necessarily need those. But all the products I've added to our live selection today are actually kind of great companions for those who like to do amigurumis. So I'm going to put that there. So, Katarina is saying, I signed up a few days ago. I can't wait. We are all abuzz about this. Like, this has been the talk of the office for quite a few days as well. And that's also, I was really excited to prepare for this episode because I was like, oh. And it is, I think this is the most extensive sneak peek that anyone has gotten so far of the new yarn. And Jennifer is asking if it compares in softness with the baby cotton. That's what Matt immediately said when he touched it. He said it reminds him of that. I would say so too. It has that just slightly more... I mean, I think our friends' cottons are perfectly nice and soft, but I think the Pika Pau is just... it just takes it a little step further. It's just... I would want to rub that on my face a little bit longer than the Friends one. I know that's a weird thing to say, but that is how I measure, that's how I measure it. And someone is saying, like, how do I sign up for the Pika Pau? So there is a landing page, which we link to when you type Pika1 in the chat. And on that page, you can just put in your email address. That's all that's required. You will that way get a launch notification. So when we launch the yarn, you will be the first person to know. And you will enter the draw for one skein of every single color of the yarn. So that is 54, because you're going to get the 25 colors and the 29 nudes as a winner. And speaking of giveaways, we do have 2 more on this show today. This next giveaway winner was drawn from everyone who clicked going on this Facebook event. So thank you to all of you who did. And congratulations to Cynthia Sesquipedalian S4. Cynthia Sesquipedalian S4. Congratulations! You are our winner of a gift card worth $25 or equivalent in your currency, whatever that may be. Woohoo! Or whatever currency you shop on our page, I suppose. Congratulations, Cynthia! I hope you know what to do. Please email the lovely Matthias at live@hobbii.com for a chance to get your prize sent to you.
What if nothing happened and I type Pika1?
If nothing happened when you type Pika1, that might just be that Facebook is currently not sending out messages, or it might just be that that your safety, your security settings on Facebook are a little bit stricter. But that's no problem. First of all, I have set up a little reminder that is going to go out after this show that is also going to include the links to the giveaway. So you can find more information there when you get that message. Or you can also try again. And also, we have sent out a newsletter announcing this, and you can also, I believe, on Pika Pau's social actually find the link, and on our own. If you want to follow her, like I said, incredible designer for these whimsical, adorable, cute, just sweet little characters. It is at Pika Pau Yan, so at Pika Pau, and then Yan is spelled Y-A-N, is where you can find it. Yvonne is apparently having problems with not getting the messages, so that's not ideal. We do think that there have been some changes to the security settings, but we've seen today that most people seem to be getting the messages. So, like I said, there is going to be a follow-up message as well later that includes the link, and it will also be posted all over our socials.
And also, I also pinned the Happy 10 landing page.
Yes, Matt has pinned the Happy 10 landing page, so at least there's that, but that doesn't get them to the sign-up page, sadly. But yeah. So with that, we have one more giveaway at the end of the show, drawn from everyone who gives this video a like. So if you haven't already, be sure to still do that. And we're now entering the little segment that I called kind of tips and tricks. And a lot of these I've already kind of mentioned throughout the course of this episode. We do recommend, most designers recommend that you downsize your hook when doing amigurumi. You do want a really, really tight structure for your stitches so that the filling that you put in isn't gonna, like I'm trying to press out some filling here and you see I am failing. So try to get really, really tight but even stitching. So a lot of times that is going to require you to downsize your hook. There's a lot of different yarns you can use for amigurumi. We've kind of focused on cotton today because of the Pika-Pow cotton coming out in celebration of that. However, there's a lot of amazing designs made with chenille yarns, which are super popular if you want a fluffier yarn. There are great designs made with acrylic yarn. There are great designs made with blends of yarns. If you want to add some texture, we have some really cool yarns. You could even use a mohair blend, for instance, to add some fluff. There are a lot of these different really nice yarns. We've got a little chenille buddy joining us here for a second. We've got Snugglefant in the house, everybody. Snugglefant is still like just prowling the office looking for Steven any chance he gets and is just not finding him. We've got so that is to say, cotton is a preferred yarn for it, but it is not the be-all, end-all of amigurumi crafting. It is always recommended to kind of stuff as you go with a lot of them. Like if you think of, for instance, Oliver the Frog with his little eyes at the top, trying to stuff those when you've kind of almost reached halfway through is going to be a lot tougher than stuffing them when you're still relatively close to them. That's not a hard and fast rule, but that is something that is quite often, I think, helpful. One thing I like about amigurumis is that because you stuff them ultimately, if you're lazy like me, I kind of just keep my ends kind of in there and not really bother too much. That's a bad tip. That's not a tip. That's just a bad habit that I have. Diana is saying, I'm currently sewing on the limbs for Snugglefant. Amazing! And Rossi is saying we should mail Snugglefant to Stephen. Imagine if we do that.
Yeah.
He would never talk to us again.
Imagine if we break into his new work and we put it on his desk.
We put it on his desk. Oh, we need to reach out to someone at his new job and be like, this is an odd request, but do you know your new colleague Stephen? We'd really like to play a prank on him.
That would be nice.
Another great way to personalize your amigurumi is to add some little details. And you can do that by embroidering them on. And with that said, like I said, we have a little collection of some amigurumi add-ons that are on offer for you today. So one of those is our embroidery yarn, which you could use, for instance, to give your project little eyebrows, to give it little eyes, to add little sprinkles to your donut, to just add that little extra touch. We do have our embroidery yarn 10% off on top of the already reduced 30% of the current sale. So you save 30 plus 10% if you use our code HAPPY10. The embroidery yarn is made from mercerized cotton and is available in a huge range of colors, so you can match your project perfectly in whichever way you need to. We do also have some hooks for you. We've got 2 different sets of crochet hooks. Like I said, the favorite hook of Pika-Pow's is the 2.75. I don't think that's in the set. I think the 2.5 is though. We've got the Cosmo set in both colors for you today. So the Cosmo set is this cute crochet hook set. It's an aluminum tip and then a very lovely thermoplastic rubber handle. So the rubber handle is going to be non-slippy so that you can hold them really nicely. It has this flattened little ledge here for your finger to go. The numbers are sadly printed on. I wish they were cut into it because I think this fades a little bit faster. The set goes from a 2mm all the way to a 6mm in the half millimeter steps, and you get this little tapered tip. This is the 2mm, so the smallest one. perfect if you want to do a really detailed work. We've got the Cosmo set in 2 colors. We've got the color Indigo, which is the one I just showed you. We also have the Wisteria, which is the purple color. They are both the same quality, just different colors. And both of them, or either of them, can be at 10% off. At 10% off with our code HAPPY10.
I feel like I've seen the Wisteria one like recently.
Yeah, we have it somewhere.
Yeah. Ah.
That's fine. And finally, I have also added a embroidery needle and a wool needle to our sale today, so you can get both of those at 10% off. The embroidery needle, of course, goes with the embroidery yarn. The wool needle goes with having to sew on any of your parts, and of course also to kind of force some of the stuffing back inside if it does poke out a little bit. Emma is sharing a fantastic tip on there that I love, which is cover the size with a little bit of clear nail polish and then it won't rub off as easily. That is brilliant. Thank you, Emma. From Emma, straight to you, a little tip. If you have hooks that have the number not engraved into it or edged into it, but instead just have it printed on and you're worried about it fading, just put a little bit of nail polish on top. This is brilliant. And I'm a nail girl and I didn't think of that. Emma, amazing. Right, so the next, like, kind of, I'd say, step of our tips and tricks segment, you will want to stuff your amigurumi. You can, of course, do what I do quite a lot, which is just use whatever leftover yarns I have. Anything I have left over, that even if it's just this much, I just shove in a bag, and then anytime I need to stuff a project, I just stuff it into there. But we do also have a polyester filling. It comes in this 300-gram bag. The bag will not look like this when it arrives at your place. It will be vacuum, like on vacuum, so all the air will be sucked out of it. So it'll be kind of a brick, but then as you pop open the bag, it's going to expand. And then you can stuff your amigurumis with it for to then play with them. We also have a few tools which are very important when making amigurumis. So depending on how so this is Bob the Giraffe, which is also a free pattern that we have, by the way. Depending on how, let's say, complicated or complex your characters are, if you want to give them really detailed features, for instance, a lot of times you'll end up having to sort of, on the same row even sometimes, do decreases in some places and increases in another. You're going to have to be very, very mindful of where you are in your project. A lot of amigurumis, not all, but a lot of them are actually worked in continuous spirals, meaning you're not going to have a line where your row or your rounds end and the next one begins. You're instead just going to continue on, so you're kind of not doing the slip stitch and instead just going on. That can make it a lot tougher to know where exactly you are in your pattern, which is why I've added a box of 100 stitch markers as part of our offer, and these super cool stitch markers that Matt just already showed you. These stitch markers are made to mark your increases and decreases, and I think that's brilliant. Of course, you can also color coordinate, and I think a lot of you already do. So a lot of you, if you have a box of 100 stitch markers, will just say, well, I'll use yellows whenever I increase and blues whenever I decrease, for instance. But just if you need to keep track of those things, I think it is so smart to just have little tags that show you what you are marking. This is, of course, the examples on a knitting pattern, but a lot of amigurumi patterns will have fairly, sometimes, I think, sometimes a little intense kind of do 3, increase 1, do 3, increase 1, do 5, decrease 2, where you kind of just, and it's all just kind of to give shape to whatever you're working on. So I thought these markers were a really, really smart tool to have, and the stitch markers are just always good to have, especially because they like to run away. And another item I added is a digital row counter, which is something that I didn't think I needed until actually I started knitting, but still. I have one friend who just uses it on every project now, and basically you put it on your finger, and as you do your rows, you just go click, click, clickety, click. That way you always know which row you're currently on, and it's just a really great tool for patterns, which can happen quite a lot with amigurumi, where it is quite important that you know which row you're currently on, to make sure that the color changes in the right spot, to make sure that the that the increase or decrease is in the right place. So to help you keep score with those things, I added the stitch markers, the specific stitch markers for increases and decreases, which I think are brilliant. And another thing that I was like, that would be such a cool idea. And the digital row counter. And then with all of those bits, that is quite a lot of stuff to keep track of, I think. And so I also added a little organizer case and a little yarn holder bag. So those are just cute little accessories if you're in the market for some storage solutions, which I always am. This is the print storage case. It comes in 4 different prints. We've got one with cats, we've got one with dogs, we've got one with lemons, and we've got one with strawberries. It has 2 sides. You can put your hooks in there, you can put your stitch markers in there, you can put cables in there if you have knitting needles or Tunisian crochet hooks that come with cables. You can put your wool needle in there, you can put your embroidery thread in there. You've got everything you need in one place in this cute little storage case. And then the yarn holder bag does what it says on the tin. It's just fits, I would say, 1 or 2 skeins of your current project that you can then have with you. It has the hole on the top, so if you go to the next picture, nope, the next one. Sorry, I knew this one was coming up. This is the one I was going for. You can walk around with your project and then just have the yarn feeding out of the hole. And it is a nice compact one. So this is great if you are just, you know, if you're limited on space and you just want to have 1 or 2 skeins with you for your commute, for instance. So this is something that could be really good for me in my commute, actually. So those are the items that we have for you today as part of live shopping. They are 10% off with our code HAPPY10, and that code applies on top of current sales prices and bulk discount. So it applies on top of the current prices. Oh, some people are like exchanging tips. I love this. This is one part I love about this community. A few more things that I forgot that I was going to mention is just in terms of how you can personalize them. So embroidery yarn is one option. We do carry quite a few safety eyes. They're not part of the selection, but we do have a lot of them also in different sizes and different styles. There are some other really cool things. We have a few patterns where you actually just use a little bit of felt tip or a little bit of actual blush, so actual human makeup, to, for instance, add some rosy cheeks to your project. Yeah, there's really no limit to how you can make your project cuter, how you can personalize it more. And I've added a lot of lovely amigurumi patterns to our selection. I've tried to add something that was a bit more whimsical. I've tried to add something that was more nature inspired. I've tried to add bigger ones and smaller ones because I kind of thought it'd be fun for you to kind of see what we already have. This is just a tiny, tiny selection of the many, many free amigurumi patterns we have. I've put all the Pika-Pau patterns up there for you as well. And yeah, that is the selection we have for you today. I hope you're as excited as I am for the Pika-Pau cotton launch. May 14th, put it in your calendar, set your alarms, or even better, sign up for the reminder. You can type Pika1 in the chat and you'll get a link to the sign up page for this launch. I have linked the American version or the English version of that page. We do have them actually in pretty much all languages. So you can just change the domain, I think, to adjust for that. But it should also be fine if you sign up through the English page. You'll just get the notification in English. Because I know some of you are watching from Sweden, for instance, or I know some Germans are watching as well. So, you know, in case you want to sign up in your own language, you can also find the link by just changing the domain, change it to yours. Pika-Pau yarn launching on May 14th, so next Wednesday. A super, super exciting, amazing collaboration, and I cannot wait to see what you all make with this yarn. If you type Pika1 in the chat, you'll get the link to the sign up page. Do sign up, do so before May 13th, because on May 13th, so the day before the launch, one lucky winner is going to be announced who will win every single color on the Pika-Pau palette. So every single of the 54 colors, so 54 skeins of beautiful cotton yarn to get crafty with. So do sign up for that. For those of you who are keen to have another little kind of cozy moment, do tune in on Thursday for Craft and Chat, which is where Jaya and I just literally sit down and craft and chat. It is a beautiful way to unwind at the end of the day. It's a bit less constant talking. It's a lot more for me staring at my piece and trying to get there. I'm moving along quite well. I will need some help from Jaya before I move along, because I've now again reached the point where the techniques that are in the pattern are stuff that I don't know how to do yet, and I'd rather do it with Jaya, because then I feel like whoever is joining us and is watching that is also a beginner also has a chance to learn from her. So join us on Thursday at the same time as this, and we'll be back with live shopping next week with some cool, exciting offers as well. Same time, same place. Our final winner of the night, not of 54 skeins of Pika-Pow cotton, but of a gift card of $25 or equivalent in your currency, is Anna Merkuleff, or Merkuleff? Merkuleff sounds cool. Merkuleff. Right. Anna Merkuleff or Anna Merkuleff. Either way, you, Anna, are a winner. Congratulations. You will receive a gift card worth 25 monies. All you have to do is write an email to the lovely Matthias at live@hobbii.com, and then he will send you your little gift card.
Yeah. Whatever you call it.
What are you sending her, Matt? Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Do remember that Happy 10 is valid for the next 24 hours on our little selection of accessories to get you started on your amigurumi journey. We will, of course, have another live shopping next week with some different offers. But I do hope that some of you maybe got inspired and are downloading patterns as we speak and getting ready to craft once the Pika-Pow hits the shelves, which will be next Wednesday. And until then, I bid you adieu, and I wish you a happy evening, afternoon, night, depending on where you're joining from. Take care and see you very soon.
Hey!